So under the principles of good lawmaking as defined in the legislation, the first principle you've highlighted is the importance of consulting. So I went back and reviewed some of the legislation you've pursued this term. With charter schools, the page 4 of the regulatory impact statement said you'd pushed a short time frame, which, quote, requires a condensed legislative process with limited time to engage with impacted and interested people. Importance of consulting. 3 strikes in your coalition agreement. The regulatory impact statement immediately identified, quote, a lack of broader consultation. The gun club law changes that Nicole McKee introduced were passed using an order in council which had no public consultation. The Treaty Principles Bill, your own ministry said, given the constitutional significance of the proposal, consultation was, quote, not sufficient. And these just aren't any laws, right? These are some of the most significant changes you've sought to introduce this term. So why have you repeatedly violated your own principles of good lawmaking?
Well, let me give you a couple of examples. Let me answer a few of the examples you've given. First of all, in both...
We do know, Chewie, if you're stuttering, you're looking for words. If you're stuttering, you're lying.
Charter schools and 3 strikes. That was a law that had previously been in place, had gone through the whole process, had been consulted on, had been removed pretty unceremoniously, I might add, with not much consultation on that side, and we put back in place a policy that had previously existed.
But this is the thing, right? It doesn't say in the legislation, oh, by the way, a little addendum, if it was a previous legislation, you don't need to consult about that. It says you need to consult. And Seymour is now saying, yeah, but we had reason not to consult. Yeah, but there's reason. It doesn't say that. The RSB doesn't say, if you've got reason to ignore all these laws and you can just ignore them, it says you got to do them. And they didn't do them. Anything to say, Tanya or Chewie, or should we keep going?
Well, I already know what he says about the next ones, and the thing about this particular point that Jack makes with him about his regulatory standards bill requiring consultation in order to be good lawmaking, and the one that Jack missed, which is the most important one, is that they totally failed to consult on the regulatory standards bill itself. And that was the point that the Waitangi Tribunal found was a breach of te tiriti, was the complete lack of consultation with Te Iwi Māori on the regulatory standards bill. So for me, that's the biggest irony of this entire part of the interview. He's saying, here's all these bills that you didn't consult on properly, and then he tries to defend them. But the one that he's talking about, which is the one that's making the rule to say you must consult before you go and pass laws, he didn't even consult on that one. And it was found to be a breach of the Treaty of Waitangi that he didn't consult on that one. And his own bloody ministry pulled him up on it.